All right, they're back. They're back, guys. All right, welcome to Debate the News once again, guys. If you're listening to us at home, this is the bonus episode. We're gonna get this conversation going again. Yeah, definitely gonna get this going again. Let's see here. What we want to do is we want to start by um, jumping in, guys, because one of the things that we were just speaking about was the what happened with. Give me one moment here as I bring some people up. What happened with the Afrikaners, guys? To me, I mean that is just yeah, that's an obvious play. Hey guys, can you once again bring everyone up, folks? Hey, if you're in the audience on CH, make sure you raise your hand and come on up because this is we're talking about Donald Trump. A win for MAGA and Trump doesn't equal a win for America, not necessarily. So that's what we're speaking about. This is a very hot topic. So make sure you guys raise your hand. I'll get up on stage. Tara, we, you know, where do you see? I mean, do you see more Afrikaners coming? Because it's like they're having problems getting these people to come over here. And how does the Trump administration continue to explain only letting people of a certain color come in?
Well, I think there's projections. It could be as many as 1,000. I don't know that that's the case. When this was originally proposed, there some guy on Twitter said there were 70,000 people interested. I don't know if that's the case either. So I can't answer. There's no current plans to bring any more over. Um, how does he look, I think the Trump administration is basically unabashed about these things. It's not a question of him explaining his people. You heard Andrew earlier on say how great it was that, they're saving these terrible people from the horrible genocide that's not going on. I think Trump's supporters believe everything he says. So they believe that and plus many, and I'm not by any means suggesting all, but many of Trump's supporters do have feelings about whites that they're endangered, let's just say. And so they're very primed to believe that this is a real issue. So I don't think he's going to explain anything. I mean, he's just going to sort of say, look, these people have a terrible, look, just what he said, it's a terrible genocide, they're being whatever. And, at the end of the day, his supporters will believe him, other people will not. But I don't see this as, there's so many other issues. I'm not sure this is going to be the one that's going to, be a huge problem for him. I think that more of the problem is taking away protections from everyone else. I do think the Afghan thing will appeal to even Trump supporters because if you remember when Biden left and Trump supporters were like, it's a disaster, 13 people died, what a horrible thing, how could he do this? And it was clear that many of the Afghanis who had supported Americans had been left behind. And we made a promise that they would bring them over and we would help them. We would not let them be subject to retaliation by the Taliban. I think a lot of Americans believed in that. And the idea that Trump is basically just sort of, you can send them back now. I don't think that's going to go over that well, to be honest. I think that's the part of it that might go over worse even than the white Afrikaners who may or may not wind up being an issue. I don't know, Jonathan, what do you think?
I think that the Afghans certainly deserve to come over. But I just the other day in here we were saying people were saying we can't bring anyone over because we have to get our own house right before we start inviting people into our house. And then all of a sudden this happened, and now they're like, "Oh, guys, listen to me. These people, if the Afrikaners were in danger, sure, let's bring them over here. I'm the first one that's gonna raise my hand and say, get them out of there." You know, uh, but they aren't in danger, and this is it's laughable. Guys, if you go to South Africa, there's a lot of crime in South Africa. Okay, there is. All right, there's a lot of crime there. There's a lot of crime here as well. All right, depending on where you are. All right, and it's crime opportunity, and and it's not just the Afrikaners that's suffering for by this crime. It is the what you call it. It is the people, the Africans, South Africans are suffering as well. So I just want you guys to be mindful of that. So um, I don't know, man. When do people start holding uh, these people accountable? This administration accountable? When do you call them out and say, "Hey, that's not kosher"? and it's not happening. They're going with everything that's being said and saying, yeah, it is what it is. I hate what's happening. So Tara, I'm with you. I'm with you. I don't know. I don't think this is not going to be. This is not going to be the straw to break the back. This is not going to be the one that gets his people upset. But this stuff is piling on top of each other. They got to explain the airplane, which is inexplicable. You can't explain that. You can't.
Well, the airplane, interesting enough, there are some of his supporters who don't like the airplane. Laura Loomer, people like that have said they're concerned about the airplane. It's wrong. So that actually has gotten more pushback than I think the Afrikaners had. But let's be real here, Jonathan. I don't think that consistency is the hallmark of MAGA supporters. Do you? you know.
No, I don't think so. But I think I think I think what's going to happen is when I mean, like right now, the Pope called him out, today. As more and more people call him out, it's crazy, guys. Yeah, I want to go back to that, but you mentioned something else earlier, and we didn't talk about it on the main podcast. The Diddy trial. All right. Um, some of the things that happened was just whew, it was interesting. They had a male sex worker come in and said that Cassie paid him to have sex, and Diddy was sitting there at a chair, had his hat on and head down, but he could tell it was Diddy. And so, at one point while they were engaging in sex, Diddy complained that they didn't have enough baby oil on, and so, and also, you know, he spoke to the fact that it seemed like she was drugged at some points, and she seemed like a victim, but yeah, he still participated. Also, he also said, that one time Diddy made him urinate in her mouth until she choked. It's a lot of explicit things going on and being said about that. Tara, you seem to be an expert in this area. Sadomasochism and all the other stuff that's going
Yeah,
on.
yeah, urinating in people's mouths on certain. Yeah, Jesus,
so,
thanks a lot.
so what
Hmm.
are your thoughts on that?
Well,
Because is this domestic abuse? Is it sex trafficking, or is it what is it?
well, they're going to have, like I said, and when I discussed it, I mean,
Safer
look,
sex.
I didn't see, I don't know all of the testimony, et cetera, just what I read, but it did seem that he provided some openings for the defense to argue that she was involved, that she wanted this, things like that, right? Remember at one point, I think he said that she wanted certain things. She wasn't just being portrayed as she was drugged to the gills and she couldn't say anything. And so I think they're going to try and exploit those holes in the testimony. Obviously, I don't think they're going to be able to get away from the fact that, he beat her and stuff like that. But as to the sex trafficking, right now, we don't really have that sort of evidence yet, do we? So we have to see. And I think is she appearing tomorrow or the next day? Is that the deal?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow, and that'll be interesting. But I think this is going to wind up being credibility in many cases, because there's going to be people who say, at one point the guy said she looked drugged, at another point he said she didn't look drugged. I mean, I can't answer that. He's giving some openings to the defense, and particularly they're not. He's being accused of racketeering, sex trafficking, things that you have to have very specific proof on. So I don't see it yet, but look, it's not that I don't believe that he did these things. I just don't see it quite. I think there have been a lot of openings given to a clever defense lawyer so far, at least in this part of the testimony, but there's a lot to go.
As one who lives in LA, who's been to a number of media and entertainment parties, none of his, um, there will be, and they're trying to keep out of the media, a lot of people that are going to get called and wrapped up in this. Jennifer Lopez, he big up in this. They're just keeping it quiet. Jennifer Lopez, Jay-Z, Meek Mill. What's the other rapper calls himself after uh, Rick Ross? There are a lot of people, Kevin Hart, that will be wrapped up all in this. escapade, who he was taught by. He was specifically taught this behavior and advocated by Hugh Hefner and who was his neighbor, and what's the dude? Um, Clive Davis. That's who he's keeping his mouth shut. Now, Hugh Hefner's dead, but he was the one who actually rapped and showed them how to do this because that's what he had been doing for years. My father told me this. In the 50s and 60s, he was doing this stuff. And he's
But
keeping
so
his
was his
mouth
mother.
shut. He's keeping his
His
mouth
mother was
shut.
a huge proponent of it.
Yeah, he's keeping his
But let
mouth
me but
shut.
let me ask you
But there are a
something,
lot.
Ty. The
And
stuff I said about sex trafficking, you know what I mean? The specific charges.
so when you talk about sex trafficking, so there are hundreds of people, Tara, that come to Los Angeles and New York, especially LA, who want to be a part of the circle. And they volunteer and to put themselves in those positions to be in those circles. Sex trafficking, I'm not quite sure about that one. Um, what's the other? What is it? Sex trafficking? What is it?
Racketeering,
Racketeering.
yeah.
How could you? You can't be the only person in a RICO organization doing racketeering. I mean, they've lost that one. Unless they pull in other people that were actively involved. Racketeering is two or more people, and it's only him in the indictment.
Criminal enterprise, and yeah, I mean that's
A
just going to
criminal
take, yeah.
enterprise that could lend weight to it as far as the bodyguards and having people do certain things in certain places. But as I do not agree at all with beating women or beating men or anyone. So, but that's not what's on trial here. The Cassie thing that was beyond the statute of limitations. The bigger play, in my estimation, is this is the powers that be shutting Sean Combs down because he was specifically going after and calling out the liquor spirit brands. That's what this is about. All this stuff. Well, he did this. He did. No, 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 no. This is about power. This is calling out and defaming him, so his claim of what they did to him won't be looked at seriously. That's what this is about.
I call cap on that. I call
just
cap.
like just like they did to Bill Cosby and his wife when the oil and gas company for years had been trying to drill on his land in Connecticut, and Cosby and his wife said no. So they went way back from the 60s and 70s and brought up all of this stuff that was going on. And after the prosecutor, the defense attorney, I mean the DA in the state had already said, we're not your the thing that you told us is going to be sealed. We're not bringing that. The new guy who came on said, I'm unsealing what he said before his, and their goal was to put and defame Bill Cosby so he would divorce his wife so that gas company could go in there and extract that gas on their property in Connecticut. All the other stuff he did with all these other people, several other people did it. Not saying it's good or bad or he didn't do it, don't know. But this was about his gas reserves on his property. And the first time,
Yeah, I call cap on that. I call
well,
cap on that.
you're not in the business. I see.
Yeah,
All
yeah,
right.
yeah.
Ty's in everything.
You're not in the
Right.
business.
Ty's
He's in
right.
Silicon Valley.
What's
He's
up?
at all these LA
Yeah,
parties. Now he's in
yeah,
oil and gas.
yeah. Let me just say this right here.
Fucking
Okay,
Captain
if they want to,
Obvious.
if they want to get gas from his land, all they had to do, they have the drills that drill sideways.
You can't.
Okay,
You still got to get permission.
no, you don't. I mean,
Well,
you
well,
don't
well,
know.
well, well you know what? You know,
I
Jonathan.
look. You're supposed to get.
You,
You're supposed to get permission. I understand that, but once
you will.
again,
You.
Ty watched Landman last week, and now he's an
Someday,
expert.
you're gonna see it come out, and you'll be like, you know what? I was right. I'm not making it up. I've seen it. Just like they killed his son because he was part of an equity deal to buy a major broadcast network, and they told him not to do it, and they killed his son, and he allegedly was on some run flats of a Mercedes Benz that couldn't get anywhere, and on the side of the 405 in LA. I remember this.
So let me get this straight, Ty. You're saying that the reason Bill Cosby got caught with all these, well, why he's in jail right now, is because of oil in Connecticut? Yeah, I didn't think you were saying something that dumb.
I'm sorry, I thought it was on. Anytime certain hues in this country go after power, there are other entities that will try to destroy and defame and then throw a rock and hide their hand.
We're talking not about what happens to Trump. I want to talk about Cosby.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. The
Didn't
first
you
time,
say the same thing happened, Barth, in North Carolina with the some kind of mineral rights or something like that? Not BlackRock or somebody. You know what I'm talking about, right? In North
Yeah, Ellie,
Carolina.
I do, but it has nothing to do with Bill Cosby having a
No, but it's the
thing.
same
No,
theme.
it's not. Well, that would be saying that BlackRock was in charge of the hurricane sitting over there, which is a topic for another time. But no, I want to get back to why Ty thinks that oil and gas is why all these women finally came out against the horrible things that.
do you
I mean,
understand? Do you understand how? Have you ever seen the movie The Godfather? Or have you ever do you understand how power works, man?
no, tell me how power works, Ty.
Oil and gas
Uh
want
huh.
to access. I said it already. If I'm gonna leave it.
No,
If you don't
say it,
believe it, don't
Ty.
believe it. I said it once. I'm not gonna repeat it. If you don't get it,
Say
you just
it
don't get
again.
it. If you don't
Well,
understand
I
how
don't
power
get a lot
works,
of shit
come on.
you say. So why is this one any different? Explain to me why Bill Cosby.
Keep living. Just keep living. You'll
Oh,
see.
I'm living fine.
Question on the
I mean,
Bill
if I make a
Cosby
statement,
thing.
I can generally explain it. I don't
Wasn't
have to
Bill
live a
Well,
Cosby
life
supposed to take
like,
over
oh fuck, what the
NBC?
hell am I saying?
you didn't get it, so I leave it
Oh,
alone.
I got it. It just makes no fucking sense.
Okay, you'll see.
Tell me why
I
Bill
can't
Cosby
I
having
can't tell you
oil and
why.
so you're
I
saying
can
that
tell you
oil
what
and
happened.
gas said, all right, we're gonna reach out to all these females that Bill Cosby
Hold on.
assaulted and
Hold
did
on.
terrible
Hold
things
on.
to
You
and
you you're
gave them a
miss
bunch of
you're
jello shots. We're gonna
it's about
and even before
perception.
Bill Cosby had this
Do you
oil and
want to
gas, he's
listen or
like,
you
you
want to
know
talk?
what?
All right,
I'm
I'll
gonna
let you talk.
I'm gonna
Go
do
ahead,
all
talk.
thank you, because I'm actually saying something. I'm gonna do all this fucking shit to all these women just as long as these oil and gas people don't catch me someday. I'll be all right. I mean, what? Explain to me how oil and gas was able to get to all these women to be able to say he touched my pudding pop. How did that happen?
Explain to me why his son is dead. Explain to me why, if you understand power, explain to me why Bill Cosby's son is dead.
How did he die?
Oh God,
Is he friends?
you're
Was
not
he
even
friends with
listening.
Hillary Clinton? I mean, tell me.
You're not even listening.
I didn't know his son died. I do know that he raped and did a bunch of terrible things to women, though.
His son died because he did a lot of college and a lot of drugs in college. I went to school with him.
Uh oh,
His
Ty.
son, his son was
Cher, are
killed.
you with oil and gas?
His son was killed off the
Yeah.
405 freeway, driving a Mercedes that has run flats by allegedly air quotes some Russians. That's what happened to his son,
So,
and it
where did
happened,
this source come
and
from?
it
One of your fancy
happened,
Y'all
LA
notice
parties?
people from LA always have some type of movie
and it
Well, yeah,
happened.
chat
theory
room.
happening,
No, I
though.
really want to explore this.
Are you
Like they
aware
be
that
like
he
they
was
in
a
the mix
deal
and shit.
to
Yeah.
buy NBC?
Ty, is this a new script you're pitching? Because I think it's a
Are
shitty movie.
were you aware that
Give
he
some
was?
Ty now. Give
You
him
know
some
Y'all are
Ty,
so
inclusions.
please.
mean. Y'all
You
are
know
Were
so
inclusions
mean.
is a
Let
hell of a
Ty
drug.
Hey, I'm
speak.
having fun beating up Ty. Let me just
All right,
enjoy
Were
this.
one at
you
a time, guys. One
aware?
at a time. One at a
Were
time. One
you
at a time.
were you aware that he was an equity player to buy NBC
Ty, Ty,
for?
Ty.
I just want to know,
I
were you
want to get
aware?
back to the 405.
Were you aware?
I just want to be aware about these Russian
Were
people.
you
Where did that
aware?
news come from? I am
If
now, but
if
I'm not aware about the Russians.
okay, go look up
I don't. Does it
Bill
tell me about the
Cosby's
Russians pulling him over on the
equity play
405 with his run
to
flats?
go buy it to be an equity player
And by
in
the way, if they're
purchasing
run flats,
NBC.
why the fuck did he not drive to a gas station?
Exactly.
The Russians. They
Go
changed his tires
go
in the
pull it up.
middle of the night. Now it makes
Go
sense.
pull it up.
Ty, how did he die? All you told me was he had run flats on the 405 and some Russian dudes did
He was
something. Did they
shot.
shoot him?
He was shot. Go pull it up.
Okay. Is there video evidence? Did
When
they
you
ever
go pull
find
it
like
up,
what
when you go pull
what
it up,
brought the
you'll see.
Russians into
You'll see
this?
it. You'll see.
Well, I don't have my Google machine near me. Just tell me. What is the tie with Russia and the 405 and run flat tires and a Mercedes? Because no one ever gets shot randomly in LA. All right, I'm done, Bing. Thanks for letting me do that.
For context, what's up, everybody? Cosby's son was changing a tire on the interstate, was robbed, took too long to hand over the money, and some guy named Mikhail something or other was arrested for it. He's a Russian. Just for the record.
Thank you. That's all I needed to know. I appreciate that. But you didn't go to any fancy LA parties, so I don't believe you.
Is it true that when that whole allegation about Bill Cosby came out, he was about to buy ABC or some shit?
He was an equity player in purchasing NBC with a group of other
NBC,
investors
right?
before Comcast bought it. Comcast acquired NBC Universal in a deal maybe 12, 13 years ago. And at the time, prior to that, a Spirits brand owned Universal Pictures and NBC. Universal Pictures is a studio. NBC is a broadcast network.
Right.
He was Cosby along with another other investors were in talks and to buy and control NBC.
NBC, not ABC. NBC, sorry. So there is some
NBC.
truth to that. I heard the same thing kind of happened with Michael Jackson. He was about to do it with Sony.
So,
Yeah, I don't think that's a coincidence.
Mike,
That timing is interesting.
Michael Jackson owned more than half of the publishing catalog for Sony, and definitely did not want Sony getting it back on his death. He and his lawyers betrayed him last year, this year, and sold it back. $600 million only. It was worth billions of dollars. He owned the Beatles catalog. He owned several publishing. He's a very, 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 very
I
smart
heard he
man.
owned the Happy Birthday song.
And 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 go look up this guy if you don't know. His name is he's an oil guy, a friend of Reagan. He owns the global touring company where Michael Jackson was going out to tour his last concert. I think it was called This Is It. He owned it used to be called the Staples Center in LA. He owned anyway this particular company. Yeah. What you may not, it was called AEG. That's the company. AEG. AEG is a global touring company that he was doing his world tour. And what AEG did, they went out and got an insurance policy from AIG that states that in the event the tour does not take place because of criminal intent to kill, for him to die, they get paid 100 cents on the dollar. That's why that black doctor, it was incumbent to make sure the DA prosecuted him as a felony and not a misdemeanor, so the insurance policy would kick in. There's a lot of
Get the fuck out of
there's a
here.
lot of skullduggery that happens in the media or entertainment space. You just don't know about it because if you're not in it, you won't hear about it.
I didn't know that was you, Ty. What's up, Ty?
So we were talking about Diddy. I don't know how we got to Russia and the corner of a freeway. So the thing about the Diddy trial, today was today the first day, right?
Yes.
Yes, chat.
The
Yes.
first day of testimony. First day of testimony.
Testimony. Thank you, Tara. And so like what would this day have looked like? It was just like what do you think it would have looked like today, Tara? Or what have you read?
I said they started off, I think, with the hotel security guard who explained what he had seen, and then they showed the video of Diddy with Cassie in the hotel hallway that I think most of us have seen already. The next witness was a guy who was paid to have sex with Cassie, and he went through some pretty graphic details. But he also did indicate at various points he thought she was sometimes drugged, sometimes not, sometimes she wanted things. It wasn't 100% clear that she was always out of it or didn't want things. Does that make sense? So
What?
all that I said was I think he's left some holes for the defense to potentially ask
So
questions about.
Tara, what are the exact charges?
It's like racketeering. It's sex trafficking, and I forget the third. I think it's prostitute or transportation for prostitution purposes. So it's
No
not
type of
domestic.
assault on the
It's
girl?
not assault. That's the thing, because the statute of limitations had run. So it is not assault, and it's not domestic abuse and things like that. So you have to prove different things. Is all that I'm saying. I'm not saying he didn't do a lot of stuff, but the particular charges, you're going to have to show that she was, she was clearly not part of this. She didn't want the, you know what I'm trying to say. They're going to have to show some more. So far, the testimony, like I said, has left, I think, a couple of areas that if I'm a defense attorney, I would be exploiting. But she's going to testify tomorrow, and we'll see how that goes.
Do you think they overcharged him?
He has 5 charges. 5 charges, right? 1 count of racketeering conspiracy, 2 counts of sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion, and 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution.
Correct.
A guy that testified today also said that Diddy was the one who was drugging her, who was drugging Cassie and forcing her to have sex with the
Yeah,
male that he
Maria, he didn't say it like every time. He seemed to sort of say he saw that sometimes, but not every time. You know what I mean? I don't think it was
got
like
it.
100%. So that's all I'm saying. I'm not saying he didn't say that, but there were other times he was like, well, she seemed to want it or stuff like that. And so, look, do I think he overcharged? I think they charged him with what he could, and I don't know. I thought there'd be like 100. Apparently, there's only like 3 victims here that are going. Most of these claims relate to. So I can't answer this. I don't know, what the other evidence is, etc. Also, I don't know the composition of the jury or what's going to. I can't answer how. It seems to be going the way the prosecution would expect it to go. I'm assuming they knew all about. They're presenting the witnesses right now. Presumably they have a lot of stuff. Presumably they have other tapes. We'll see.
What do you think the defense what's the angle you think the defense is going to? I know you're not in it, but I'm just saying, what do you?
Oh, well, if it were me, I'd say, look, she was a willing participant. She was the one who took the drugs. She was the one who asked for these things. Occasionally, I did do some things I'm not proud of, but that has nothing to do with sex trafficking and stuff like that, right? So I would be saying that it was, I did not coerce her, right? That this was her.
So like try to discredit the witness kind of thing?
Yeah, basically you're saying, well, yeah, I mean, you're not, I haven't heard her testimony, but you're basically going to say, look, whatever she's saying, it was not like that. And I certainly didn't transport anyone for prostitution purposes. I mean, some of these charges, it'll depend, I guess, on, once again, I can't, I don't know what the evidence is going to show. But right now, I'd be trying to sort of say, look, she was a willing participant. That would be a defense, wouldn't it? You cannot be engaged in sex trafficking if the person, well, if you're not forcing them to do things.
So even though he was not charged criminally in the Cassie case, they were able, it seems like, I could be wrong, that they built this case around information that they found out from that case, from the civil case.
I mean, and I would say that there's a lot of stuff in there that I mean, look, even showing the tape, it's not that relevant, right? They obviously had to get it into some sort of exception to why it's relevant, and I'm assuming they're saying it's relevant because he shows her before and after and shows the nature of her unwillingness to do these things, blah blah blah, right?
When did that happen? That tape?
I don't know. When did it happen? Do you know, Chad? I don't remember.
I can look it up real quick.
Yeah.
That's like
I thought
7,
it
8
was
years. It was
recent.
like 8 years ago. That tape has been held on for a long time. It was just when the spirits makers were feeling he was getting beyond himself. They wanted to release it. They've had that tape for a long time, and the statute of limitations was over. It's like 7, 8 years ago in L.A.
But they also might have thought that video was relevant because did he grab Cassie's bag or something when after he hits her, he takes a bag or something, and maybe that, you know, never mind.
What you're saying is he
It
was
was in
taking. Yeah.
2016.
Like that tape got the ball
Right. So
rolling.
It
it's like
was
9 years ago now.
2016.
They had it, but it was being held. There for those outside of this space, there are so many things like that take place attached to Hollywood. There's so many things like that takes place often. It just never comes to light because there's a whole cabal of skullduggery people that are orchestrating to keep things quiet. It happens way more often than you think.
Think they try to use it for blackmail, Ty? Like keep a hold of it and just use.
Absolutely. What?
Yeah.
Yes.
The trafficking one's weird to me, just kind of like the Epstein thing, right? Like Epstein gets convicted of trafficking, then the Gazelle or his girlfriend lady, whatever, she gets convicted of trafficking. It's like, well, trafficking takes two parties, so like he got to traffic to somebody. So if Diddy's gonna get accused, like convicted of trafficking, like who's he trafficking to?
They have to prove it. And for those who have children or who want to be in the entertainment space, and if you have children, come with your children or your young people, even if they're 21, 22, be with them. There's, again, there's so, there, Los Angeles was known for a big, huge pedophilia ring and a big K&R ring, kidnapping and ransom. They have insurance. AIG offers policies for K&R here, well, all over the world, but here it's much larger than is reported.
It's terrifying.
Yeah, it is. It actually is.
It's for decades now too, right? I
And,
mean,
and so
This
going back
has been
to
going on since the
going back to
'50s.
the Diddy case, excuse me, going back to the Diddy case, like the situation or the tape that we saw in 2016, and someone asked about the bag. I think it was Danny. Danny, can we revisit that? I know you're about to ask about the bag. He didn't she leave with the bag in her hand? I think I saw her at the elevator with the bag. When he pulled her by her hair and had the bag in the other hand. So are you kind of like insinuating like there was money maybe in that bag?
Some type of like paperwork or proof to prove the sex trafficking idea or something. I was gonna, that was a stretch though. After I thought about it, I was like, I don't know. But I don't get what other reason they would bring up that Cassie video because again, he assaulted her, but the statute of limitation is up. So I was trying to think of another reason why else that video would be um relevant on that point or trying to
so like he
prove
went
the
after her to get
case.
the bag back. He was trying to get the
Yeah.
bag.
No, no, he could have just taken the bag and left her. Like he didn't have to do what he did to her. If it was just about the bag, it was about control,
I
right?
agree.
It could
It
have
looked
also been
bad.
the contents of the bag, but it wasn't just about the bag. It wasn't just about the contents of the bag. I don't believe so. Now, what I do understand though, because I'm curious about the jury, right? The jury makeup. But the other question, I don't know if Tira's still here, but there was a portion or a charge that was dropped. Maybe like 2 months ago, maybe a month ago. Is Tira here?
I would think that the video could be used to maybe be a defense against any permission given, and her defense would, be that look, if I said no, I thought I was in danger, so I said yes, but it was coerced or something like that.
That's wild that this dude's gonna beat up a woman on camera and no charges at all because it's past the statute of limitations, even though we've seen it. That's fucking crazy. It's like, oh, sorry, it didn't come to light till out. It doesn't mean it didn't fucking happen. We saw it happen. What are we talking about right now?
You saying there should be no statute of limitations?
No, I'm saying if they had the hotel had the video, and then they just happened to not release it until after the statute of limitations ran up. Like, what are we talking about? Like, why didn't y'all just come to light with it in 2016 so the statute of limitations wouldn't have been gone up? I mean, he got to
Probably
basically
because
operate for another
they
9 years.
got paid.
Sorry, what?
Probably because they got paid.
Right? No, right,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
right. But it doesn't make it right.
Hearing you say that makes me think, why can't the hotel people, members of the hotel, be held accountable? I mean, I've seen this shit firsthand. I mean, really firsthand. I've seen, I'm not even going to talk. Yeah.
There's a
Well,
whole
right.
group of
Like,
handlers they have here. A lot of them work for the actual agencies, the actual talent agencies. Most of these people are handlers, and they handle situations for people, and they've been doing it forever. and they're tapped into all the hotels. They're tapped into newspapers, and they're tapped into making sure that whoever they have going on is on the right side whenever it needs to be on the right side. So if you go back to 2016, what was going on? It was the deal with Sean Combs and the liquor brand, and you can't disparage that because it's going to lose millions of dollars. So you handlers take that information and they hide it and hold on to it so it doesn't come out to the public. This stuff happens 7 days a week in LA and New York.
Right, like that's what I'm thinking here, right? So like, okay, so the situation happens. So now I guess Diddy calls his fixers or whatever, and he's like, "Yo, there's some shit on camera now. I need you guys to get a hold of." So the fixers go and they talk to the hotel people. They're like, "Yo, y'all need to give me that camera, that footage or whatever." And they probably pay the people off to give them the footage, keep them quiet, blah blah blah. Who knows? But then the shit gets leaked later on. And they leak it at the right time, like you're saying. But like Sheree's saying, like someone had it, someone didn't leak it. I mean, who? What's going on here? Like, you can't just cover some shit up like that and allow this dude to operate for another 9 years. What was it, 2016? So another 9 years. This dude just gets to operate and do his shit. And you're just like, oh yeah, but I remember he beat up this girl in 2016. Like, motherfucker, like that shit's crazy to me. And I get it, right? I know it happens, and it's
So
par for the course.
it wasn't him buying the tape. It was the handlers who represent perhaps the people who he was making money for. If you're a multi-million billion dollar conglomerate that has a liquor brand and you give a marketing deal to someone that's going to go out and sell millions of dollars of liquor for you, and these type of things happen other than killing someone, on tape, they will handlers will make sure that
Just
some of
bury it.
these never come to light. I
Yeah.
think it's whack and trash. And had it been one of my sisters, he would have got dealt with. But it, I'm not even in the mix like that anymore. And you still hear about stuff. I get phone calls. There's a lot of nefarious stuff that takes place out of the light.
Well, it's been a long time since you started on reading Rainbow.
I used to love reading Rainbow. Take a look. It's in a book.
You know that guy from Reading Rainbow got jacked by the police in his Rolls Royce.
Did
He
he
was
really?
undercover.
Fucking
Yep.
Russians again.
Nope. It was the police.
He had a Rolls Royce.
Yep. He was driving, pulled him over. It's called BW. Black man driving. Yep. Go pull it up.
I used to love
See.
that shit. They turn the lights out, wheel the fucking TV in on that big ass cart. Fuck yeah.
Isn't that LeVar Burton, the Star Trek guy or whatever?
That's right.
Yeah.
You're right. That nailed it.
The more you know.
So anyway, guys, so I don't know. You guys think there's always a conspiracy behind something? I mean, Diddy was known for his parties. He was known for all that other stuff. Um, you know, R. Kelly. Um, R. Kelly got what was R. Kelly charged with? Like they're surviving R. Kelly. Okay, is what they had. Was it for underage kids or was it just the stuff that Diddy's accused of?
Yeah, I worked a show with him in the mid 90s, and there were some pretty young women in the hot tub back then on the
Yeah,
stage.
Tara, are you there, Tara?
Yes.
What was R. Kelly charged with? Was it just? It wasn't underage. He didn't get convicted for underage. He got convicted for
I don't
the
I don't remember.
Well,
because
didn't he
it's
have that sex tape with the minor?
I because if R. Kelly if his charges are similar to Diddy's done. And because I mean the feds they the first of all the conviction rate is in the 90s. All right, so I want to see R. Kelly. R. Kelly, let's see, because I'm just wondering here. R. Kelly, um,
It was for sex trafficking for R.
yep,
So the
Kelly.
same shit.
there
Um,
it is.
but if individuals had known about this, Lucian Grange, go look him up. Lucian Grange, the head of Universal Music, knew
Oh
about
my
this
gosh. One second, hold
for
on. They got him with racketeering. The same thing they got Diddy with.
It's the same shit.
Okay, and he was on. How you guys say he's the only one charged? Okay, how they gonna get racketeering? R. Kelly was the only one charged.
He was charged because he was demanding his masters and his publishing from Lucian Grange at Universal
Bro, no, no,
Music
no,
Group.
no. Look. Okay, okay.
That's how that happened, bro.
I get that. I get that. Okay, all right. A conspiracy theory aside,
It's not
Ty,
a theory.
I'm a little surprised at you, but okay. But what
It's
I'm
not a
saying,
theory.
okay, I get it. Okay, all right. What? No, he's a pervert. He was messing around with. So I'm looking right here, guys. So essentially, uh, his charges. Um, wow, his charges were similar: sex trafficking, okay, and racketeering. Similar charges.
You
Yeah,
need to charge all members of a conspiracy or racketeering in order to get a conviction on racketeering. You cannot charge certain people members of the enterprise.
Yeah, I think that's what Jonathan was when I said earlier. I was like, how do they charge one person for trafficking or racketeering and not charge everybody else? But I guess they
But
can. Right.
yeah, they're allowed to
But
do
but
that.
but it stands to reason, right, Tara? Like trafficking involves two parties, right? Like you can't traffic to nobody. So you would think if you're
Exactly.
going to convict someone of trafficking, then it stands to reason that they trafficked to somebody. So why would you get them to? I don't know. It's just crazy.
Maybe they agreed to testify against him. I don't know.
They
Are,
they did not testify against him.
are you guys being for real right now?
They're
Well,
not, bro. Explain it to them, bro.
no, I am being for real. Like, right? Like trafficking involves two parties. Yes, we can all agree on that. Like if you're gonna get convicted of trafficking, that means you had to traffic to another party. You don't because if you didn't traffic to another party, it wouldn't be trafficking.
Yeah, but what if it's literally you to your party?
Yeah, putting a girl on the plane.
Ah, fucking cry.
Putting a girl on the plane to go somewhere to be abused is trafficking.
there it is. And the RICO. R. Kelly got the RICO, and people want to mess with him for years.
Well, right, Rico, it means he's involved in a bigger operation.
Man, they'll mess with him because he's a moneymaker, bro. They'll mess with him. Just like
Who he
they
put
did,
on?
just like they did the woman who's in jail right now, up in Northern California, the white girl with the blonde that went to jail with the blood thing. She just raised $20 million in jail right now for starting another startup. They'll mess with her if they're a moneymaker. They'll continue to engage with them.
You're talking about Elizabeth Holmes? You're not talking about Elizabeth Holmes.
Exactly.
No way. She raised money, but she was like a total fraud. How could
She
wow.
just raised $20 million
How? I mean,
with
Theranos
her
was a
partner
complete fraud.
out because. Oh my gosh, go look it up. It just
No, we're
happened.
not saying we don't believe you. We're
I
just saying
believe you.
how.
I'm just
Yeah.
saying, wow, that's insane.
If people have assets that other people want, they'll figure out a way of how to get rid of them. The guy they call Little Wayne, he was about to go to jail after for a drug conviction for something he had some weed on the bus, and he was down in Florida. He was about to go in jail the first time Trump was in office, and he sold his catalog to Universal, and all of a sudden Trump pardons him right before he gets out of office.
Yep.
It's about power and assets, guys.
Jonathan, you're off mic if you didn't know.
Yeah, I was listening to you guys. I was jump in. I'm listening to the Diddy case. Go ahead.
JB, tomorrow's debate the news is going to be huge.
Why? Because you finally pay me my $2,000?
Testimony
Yeah. We're on what's called recording. Why do you say that, Dave?
after Cassie's testimony. That's tomorrow. It's going to be huge.
Yeah, that'd be big. What does everybody think here? Like around the room, like what do people think it's the verdict? Just a prediction on the verdict. What do you guys think?
He's toast.
You think so?
Yep.
Nah, he's going home
You think he's gonna get off?
because he's keeping his mouth closed.
He
Because
gonna beat this.
they already made him an offer, but he had to snitch and tell about everybody else who's in there. You know what? He will live. Let me put it to you that way. He will live.
What does that mean?
Meaning, I think if he keeps his mouth closed, he will continue to breathe on this side of terra firma.
Oh, okay.
Right. He's not gonna end up like a Epstein. He'll be okay.
Now, as far as him getting out of jail immediately, I don't know about that, but I could see him out in 5 years, 3, 5 years. Yeah, well, he keeps his mouth closed because there's too many other people involved who knew about this, who were there, who participated. Beyonce, um, Jennifer Lopez, Kevin Hart. There's too many people who were Jay-Z. There are too many people who were there, eyewitnesses and participants.
They're
Too many
not
people.
talk. They're not all gonna talk. Telling you.
No, they're not gonna say anything. That's why he is like, keep your mouth quiet. No deals.
Diddy looks like a talker.
They got
That's a lot of
And
money.
the
I,
prosecution has to prove it. They got to prove it.
but they all need to be mad right now at OJ because OJ messed the game up for all of them. OJ messed the game up for them all.
Wise guy.
Now, after OJ got off, the white folks said like never again.
It all goes back to OJ.
And
I
I'll go back to the OJ case.
I liked OJ actually.
Then he wrote a book, If I Did Do It.
It's the
Play the
dumbass,
song.
dumbass writing the book.
He gonna beat this case.
You talking about Sean Combs?
Man's not gonna beat this case. That man's not gonna beat this case.
He's gonna beat this case, Jonathan. He got dirt on
there's no
everybody.
way, bro.
He's totally gonna beat this case, Jonathan.
He
So
got
Totally
they go
gonna
dirt.
to
beat
He
this
got
case.
they
dirt.
go
He
to
got dirt
prison
on
too. Then
everybody.
all of them go to prison. Then
They're not okay.
Yeah, but if he spills the dirt, he's gotta implicate himself.
As long as a pig's pussy is pork, he getting off of this motherfucker.
oh shit.
That's a
Well, that's
fact.
fact.
That's a fact.
That's facts.
That's why
As long as somebody doesn't offer him more to write a book. Taj, are you from LA?
were you talking to me?
Ty, yeah.
Born and raised in Los Angeles, grew up in Hollywood, been working
Okay,
in
okay,
the
okay, okay.
Silicon Valley, but
You remember
understanding
that
how this works
you
because I've
remember
been
that
to some of
woman
these
Heidi
things.
Fleece or
Of
Fleiss?
course,
And
Ty's in
remember,
the
do
circles, y'all.
y'all
Like
know
Ty
that
runs in the
story?
circles.
That's
do
what
you
I'm
know?
saying.
Do you know
She
her
was
father?
offered to write a book about all her clients, all the people that committed crimes, millions. But somebody came to her and was like, no, 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 you better not release our names because they will unleash hurt. They were like,
Of
they
course,
basically threatened her life. And then she
of
got out later
course,
because she didn't mention any names.
of course. Her father was a big, huge milkman back in the day. She's a small little Jewish girl. If
Heidi
you,
Fleiss, the LA Madam, or whatever they called her,
yeah,
right?
Mm-hmm. Right
Hmm.
there.
if you any of you all go see that TV show called Entourage, the show it was like 8 series.
Adrienne Grenier, right? Yeah.
Yeah, eight seasons of the show. They show now it's not her face, but what was going on. That it's yeah, it happens. It's been happening. As a matter of fact, she took over from the lady who taught her the game.
Mm-hmm. That part.
You know what Heidi Fleiss is doing now?
What
She's
is she doing?
operating a no cage parrot sanctuary in Pahrump, Nevada, where she cares for about 30 macaws, rehabilitating them.
The more you know.
It's so funny how people that are in messed up situations do stuff later like that. It's like to heal their or make them feel like they're a good person on the earth or make up for their bad stuff that they did. Do something really good.
Rehabilitation.
Mm-hmm.
So Ty, during not to change subject, but during the Harvey Weinstein era, before he got charged, was it kind of just known that Harvey Weinstein was a creep?
It's not just him, it's men and women who do that, who were doing what he was doing. Men and women. The Me Too thing was a farce because there were so many women in positions of power doing the exact same thing. And then they found out a lot of those females were lying. Yes, he was probably doing that. Yeah, but there were so many. He's just a face. There, it's a chorus of people. Pick one. Warner Brothers, Sony, TriStar Columbia, MGM, Paramount, Disney. Um, six. I call them this 12. The 12 tribes. It's Paramount, Warner, Disney, Fox.
Miramax.
No, but that's a mini. I'm talking about larger
Oh, you're
studios.
talking about the big
The
boys.
big it was six studios and the six handlers called agencies: CAA, William Morris Endeavor, United Talent Agencies. These are all handlers. There's big huge handlers that handle talent and put them in places of things they have to do in order to get roles. I mean, they touched on it a little bit in the TV show Entourage with the character, the guy that played Ari. But I mean, it was that's why he made the TV show. The guy, the Marky Mark dude.
Yeah, I thought it was based off of his
It
like how he
is,
came
but
up. Yeah.
they scaled back a lot of stuff that I, I was in it. So you're like, oh, okay, yeah, that's such and such. Oh, that's what they do. That's how they get down. Man, there are parties that still happen today in the Hollywood Hills and whatnot, in places where full on swinger, the whole thing, young girls. That's why I'm like, sex trafficking, girls kind of just show up. You're not, you don't have to support. They show up
And I heard
in
they all got like
packs.
tunnels. They got tunnels underneath their houses and shit.
That was what's the guy's name? That was Hugh Hefner. People don't that people think Sean Combs. No, Hugh Hefner was
Listen,
the guy.
if they confiscated all the tapes and all the surveillance from Diddy's houses, right? Why hasn't anybody else been charged?
Thank you.
They're too high level, bro.
If he just keeps his mouth shut, he'll be fine.
Ty, is this thing so bad, like so far reaching that like pretty much every actress or actor that came up in the late '90s or early 2000s, like the Cameron Diaz's and all these people, like the only way that these people became big movie stars is if they did some crazy shit? Is it
This
that?
goes this goes back to the beginning of Hollywood. There's a book by Neil Gabler, a Jewish man, called An Empire of Their Own: How the Jews Created Hollywood. And it talks about how the casting couch thing has been going on from then, the 20s. This is not something that's new at
And like
all.
you don't get roles unless you do it.
Man, there are people willing to sacrifice whatever they need to sacrifice to get on. Anytime you see a person continuously on TV or in a movie, continuously, from different role, different role, different role, they pay the cost.
And they keep their mouth shut. The number one pillar of that society is to keep your fucking mouth shut.
Or
Trust me.
you'll end up dead or marginalized. The reason why so many of these folks went, I'll give you a perfect example, who tells stuff, but because he would go to parties and people thought he was crazy. He was telling the truth. Cat Williams, everything he said when he first started talking about it, was the truth. People try to say he's crazy, he's in jail, he's on drugs, he's on this, he's on this. No, everything he said, what he was talking about, was truthful.
What about
Ty,
Terrence Howard? What about
Absolutely, Terrence Howard.
Ew.
Terrence Howard was dropping some crazy shit,
Yes,
bro.
absolutely,
I
absolutely.
thought it was crazy that no one came after them too, but maybe it's because they were speaking so much truth. But I was like, maybe it's because they're not big enough.
Bro, did y'all hear that shit Terrence Howard was saying? That shit was crazy.
Remember those actors back in the '60s? What's this guy? The '50s and '60s, the leading men, all those leading men of Hollywood, they were all flipped, all of them.
Jaguar Wright, and then Malcolm. Uh, they're all Gene Deal. They're all talking. If you just go to YouTube and listen, you can. They're talking, and people think they're crazy.
You
But
got
they're
the guy
not.
from Abercrombie and Finch charged with some of the same similar crimes in the same state, and he's out on bail. Why?
Because people won't
He's
talk. People won't talk. I didn't talk. I didn't talk for 20 years. I hung out with
Exactly.
I've told you guys before. I hung out with Max. I know her name is Ghislaine Epstein. I went out with her like twice a month for drinks. I never knew anything about Epstein fucking Island. I never knew anything. I hung out with her at least minimum twice a month.
There's a movie called Less Than Zero. Robbie Downey Jr. came out in the '80s. Go find that movie. That talks about what takes place in high school, at Beverly Hills High School. I remember. I mean, this stuff has been. Is the first time I saw cocaine in person was in middle school in Los Angeles. The kids in middle school had cocaine. These white and Jewish kids. I mean, it's more pervasive than you think, depending on what neighborhood you live in LA.
Man, I'm telling you, these higher ups, these elitists, these people who run, dang near run the country, they're not going after people. Like they're only going after people they think are threats or want to exit out the cult, the group, so to speak. Like Justin Bieber, people are all saying that right now. He's going through it because he doesn't want anything to do with Hollywood anymore. So he's getting all this backlash. Got people talking about his wife and all this other stuff. Got paparazzi hounding him because he no longer wants to be a part of the group. Those are the people they target. You're asking why, they're not targeting certain people because they're not deemed as a threat or they still want to be a part of the club. That's the only reason. Two
That's a
reasons.
that's a fact, right? What you just said. And
It's so sad.
he is so messed up. Like he needs Jesus in a serious way and a lot of therapy. He's so messed up what they did to that boy.
Is there any truth to where like you said, a lot of them keep quiet, and then if they really they can't even come out because if they come out, then all the shit they did in the beginning of their careers would get released. So like they're kind of like, well, fuck. If I fucking try to say anything, they're just gonna release all this crazy fucking shit I did.
Correct. Or if you try to make a power move, i.e., Cosby, i.e., several other people, when you try to make a power move to hold on to your own assets, I mean, it's no coincidence that Cosby and R. Kelly and Lil Wayne and Michael Jackson, it's not a coincidence. They're all making power moves and got smacked.
And then bam, yeah, and then fucking bam.
Even Robert Smith, who's not in entertainment, he's a black man making a power move. Robert Smith is the founder of Vista Equity Partners, $100 billion situation. He made a power move, and he came above water when he a few years ago paid off the tuition for all of the black men that graduated from Morehouse College. They came after him, finding out how he got his money, how was he doing currency trading, this, and he had to pay a fine for something he allegedly did. Power moves.
I know you probably don't know this, Ty, but or even Danny. I know you've been out in LA for a while, but I don't know you guys don't know the answer to this. But let's just maybe you do or maybe you don't. How would these conversations go? Like if there's an up and coming actress or an up and coming actor, and they go and meet the big wigs, and they're like, yeah, no, I'll do anything, I'll do anything. Is it like okay, well, you got to eat a baby's heart, or you got to kill a baby, or is it like, hey, you got to let these fucking 8 old dudes run a train on you, or is it like crazy shit like
I
we
don't.
need you to kill somebody?
I don't know. I haven't been
It's
in those
usually
places.
it's usually you need to get fucked by somebody.
That
Typically.
part is true, and it needs to be on
Yeah.
video.
Yeah, absolutely.
And men and women have zero problem doing that. They're like, hey, that's just the price of entry. You, yeah.
People love
Well,
to
and the
talk about
wild thing, the
Marilyn.
actress. Oh, so go ahead.
Oh no. I was just gonna mention an example. Like people love to talk about Marilyn Monroe and they put out that movie of her getting fucked by I think it was one of the producers of some major TV show. But it's like Holly, you think it's just Marilyn Monroe? You Holly Berry, you like it's all these actresses.
And most of the actors,
Yeah.
you just wouldn't know it.
You just wouldn't know.
Rock Hudson, gay. I mean, this is from back in the '50s and all these dudes, All of them.
Well, when you said that earlier, like when these guys come out with like a bunch of movies in a row, and it made me think of The Rock. Remember that the Rock came out with like 9 movies in a row, and I was like, how the fuck does this dude have time to film these fucking movies?
They
Don't
were.
tell me, don't tell me Dwayne Johnson's in on it.
There is a photo cover of a magazine cover of Dwayne Johnson, maybe about 6 years ago, and there are certain symbols that will show you what they're doing, and like he was in a bathtub, and I forget the magazine, but yeah, or anytime you see a bunch of what's it
Yeah, the
checkerboards
black
on
and white checkerboard
black and
stuff.
white
Yeah.
checkerboards, or you see someone that has an eye on their hand or on their neck, Eye of Horus, aka, or a Dagon, which is very
I
demonic.
heard they
Or
make him wear a dress in public.
things to do.
Like, remember that Saturday Night Live where Kevin Hart and The Rock they put on that dress,
Absolutely, absolutely,
and then the Tu Wong Fu, Thanks for Everything, with Wesley Snipes and all of them had to dress up.
absolutely.
It's
They
like if
they
you ever
tried
see a guy having to wear a dress in public, they got him.
they tried to penalize David Chappelle, and when he signed a deal
He wouldn't do it. Yep.
with no, he did his deal with, I forget who he did his deal with, when he had the Dave Chappelle show, and the deal was structured. He had 50% of all the proceeds, and they said we're not going to pay you because the show's making way more money, and we didn't think, and you only deserve this. He's like, we have a contract. They're like, so he says, well, I'm going to tell everybody what you did. He gets on his plane and goes back to Ohio, and they put out saying Dave Chappelle's on crack, and he's done this and he's done that, slander, 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 and so he leaves and he goes to Africa for a while. I mean, it's a machine. If you're on that side of the equation, most the Hollywood, the entertainment business, not media business, the entertainment business, 95% of it is business. The only 5, maybe 10% of it is what you see. It's not show business, it's the business of show. But most people want to be in show business, whether they're an athlete or an entertainer.
Yeah, and it's not all actresses and actors. A lot of some of them go with some protection, right? They got a manager, they got a man. I'll say all the time. I speak to my friends all the time, like Zendaya. Um, Thank God she's dating Tom Holland. But even her, like I also said, I was like, either you get effed on camera, recorded getting actually fucked, or you get fucked on in a TV on a movie. And then Challengers came out. You know, they didn't show actual sex scene, but you know, her in between those two white boys, come on. But she didn't do a whole monstrous ball like Holly Berry because she has Tom, right? She lucked out.
She has
You
her
know,
parents, her
she has
dad,
her
and
parents,
they
that
live
too.
here.
She had her parents, you know, growing up, and they were like, oh, you could tell. I could just tell. I met her dad one time. He does not play that. But most women, young women, are moving here from their small hometown, have no protection, no guidance, left to their own devices. Again, like I think you said earlier, Mike, like wanting to do whatever to get on the big screen, and they end up doing whatever.
That's how the girl. Unfortunately, this guy. He's a sucker. We talked about this a couple weeks ago. I said it. He's a sucker. But younger women come to lounges and gyms, certain gyms, and what's that thing called? Where they sell.
Equinox?
No,
Oh,
where they sell the food market. The food market. What's that thing called? The outdoor market. The farmers market.
Farmers markets.
yeah.
Farmers
Hmm.
markets, gyms and certain lounges. That's how what's his face got caught up. Well, he's a sucker. Shannon Sharp, a sucker. But I mean that happens all day long. They lurk in those spaces. Equinox, the Equinox right there on Sepulveda, right by Santa Monica. They certain farmers markets around the city, certain lounges. They just position themselves to get caught, to be bait. What do you do?
That's
I'm an actress. But which restaurant? That's what which restaurant or
they
bar do
stay
you
at
work
Wally's, Ty. I was gonna mention they always in the bar at Wally's
at?
in Beverly
Wally's
Hills.
where? In by
No, the one in
LAX?
Beverly Hills, not
Oh
the
yeah,
Santa Monica one, the
yeah,
Beverly Hills
yeah.
one.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Oh my gosh, you can't swing a stick. Yeah.
And then, like you guys said, the actresses are willing to do it too. Like, remember those leaked photos of Jennifer Lawrence before she got all big? And there's those leaked photos of her naked with the Jennifer Lawrence ones. And the photos, she's sitting there and she's in front on a couch. some random ass couch. It's like 4 photos of her on a couch, and one of them's like, "I'll do anything for a role," and you know what she's doing. She's got
That's
pictures
how
of.
that's
So
how Donald
like you
Trump's
said, Ty,
wife
the
was put
actors are
on.
even
Have
willing
you
to
seen
do it.
those
It's
photos?
crazy.
Have you seen the photos of Donald Trump's wife? Same photos. Have you seen them?
The what?
The photos. Who's his wife?
Melania?
No,
You
is that
said
his wife?
Trump?
Donald Trump's current wife.
Yeah,
Who's
Melania Trump.
Melania.
it's the same. We seen photos of her. Same
She's got
exact
naked
thing.
photos out there.
Yeah, that was the whole
Yes.
thing. You remember that?
I don't
Man, that's
remember
been
the
out for so
Melania
long.
ones, bro. She's smoking. I'm not gonna look at him because he's the president. I'll wait a couple.
She
But
is a hoe to the fifth power. She's a hoe.
Yeah,
Hoes
but,
are people too. Hoes
she's
are people too.
Hoes
I
are
w-
people too.
Those are
Hoes are people
definitely
too.
people, Sheree.
And he is
Who
a
said that? Was
dumb.
that you, chat?
Yes,
well, she was a smart hoe. I
that's
gotta
a
give her
fact. She got
that.
the president. Hello.
Yeah,
I think she's the one
she
actually
knew
running
what
shit.
she was doing. I gotta give it to some of these women out here because I'm like,
Some of these
ooh,
women getting
if
a
you a hoe
two-piece
for a
chicken from
specific man,
Popeyes, Danny.
I mean, I gotta give it to you.
Danny, some of these women getting
Isn't she
getting
like a princess or some shit?
what?
No, she's an
Oh,
illegal.
she was another model
She's an
that
illegal
came to New
immigrant.
York with her agency, booking some jobs, and he introduced her to Trump at a New York party.
This is just like
She had
Shannon
some
Sharp.
lineage or something.
This is just like Shannon Sharp. Same thing. She was a young hoe, try to get on.
Oh, I thought she had lineage.
No, she was.
Mm-mm,
She is an illegal
mm-mm.
immigrant, bro. And they just gave her parents. I think her mama just died. They gave the parents TPS, temporary protected status, and then I think gave her citizenship. No, dude.
yeah, but
Well, she can
it,
stay.
if Diddy is so powerful and he know all this shit about all these people, about these powerful people, why would you let him get caught and locked up knowing all this shit's gonna get exposed in court?
He's not
That that
powerful. He's
that's
not powerful.
but he knows stuff about people that are powerful, is what I'm saying. If this is true, why would you let him get locked up out of
Yeah, he
all the
wouldn't
people?
he wouldn't he use that as leverage? That's what you're saying,
Yeah,
big man.
yeah,
Like if he
yeah,
knows all these secrets and all of
yeah.
this,
Why?
then he
Yeah,
would sing
Nah,
like
because
a
Diddy's also on
canary.
them tapes.
And
yeah,
he looks like a squealer, I
He's on
swear
them
to God.
tapes too.
Yeah,
yeah.
he like, yeah, that was my booty, but let me tell you what such and such did. Like
It don't make sense. Like,
it doesn't.
why would you let him get locked up out of all the people? Like,
And at this
that's
point, what
crazy.
did
Again,
they offer him to
again,
keep him
it's a
quiet?
power move. Either, either Diddy, they saw him as a threat and wanted to take him down specifically, or he wanted to leave Hollywood, wanted to stop doing the craziness, and they were like, no, 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 no. We say when you leave. So since you don't want to get with the program, we're gonna target you. And that's what this is. It has nothing to do with the crimes. You know how many, Ty is telling you these crimes get committed all the time. They just go after people specifically when they don't follow the rules or see them as a threat.
Why do you think Kimberly Porter is dead? The twin daughters he has from her. Why do you think she's dead?
So
Well,
sad.
that's what I was. What do they have to offer him now?
So,
Like a
but
method?
okay, Ty. So
She was
if
writing
that's
that
true,
book.
if that's true, right? If I know you trying to set me up to try to put me out of Hollywood, you don't think I'm gonna say something in that courtroom? You think I'm gonna just sit back and just let y'all destroy me?
Not if they're killing your family members.
No, I'm gonna
They
act like Nino Brown. I'm gonna be such and such did it. I'm pointing out people in the courtroom like I'm singing like a canary. Why? I'm with Big.
Yeah, I'm.
It doesn't make sense that if he has all of this insider information, which I am sure he does. Number one, why do you think that you can commit a crime or be commit a crime adjacent and you're above that?
Hey, Chad, I know there's no book, but wasn't she writing in the process of writing it? And then it was
yes,
Yeah, memoir. It was a
yes
No,
memoir.
she was. Yes she
no,
yeah,
was. Yes she
that's
no.
what
was.
Gene Deal was talking about it.
Mm-mm.
Yes she was. She
No,
was actually writing
I'm
a
with
book.
Chat,
Chad. If
what you
I'm
mean
going down,
no?
Walmart's going down
no.
with me.
What you mean no, chat?
I told y'all who I used to date. I'm not repeating it. That the answer is no.
Oh, date? Who said something about that? I thought we were talking about Kim Porter.
We are.
Yeah,
Oh,
the answer is definitely no. I'm with Chad. And then that whole thing with him having power, which you guys are failing to realize. It's almost like the guy who asked the question about the whole trafficking thing, right? Like, I think you guys are missing it, right? They went after him because he had so much information, right? So it's not the fact that he can fucking use it against these people. It's the fact that he was probably attempting to try to do that, you know. And then again, we can't discredit all the goofy stuff, bro. I get all the conspiracy shit you guys are on, but it's almost like downplaying like all the fucked up shit that the dude did, right? I get it. It happens in LA every day. I'm in California, so I get it. But just saying it like that, it's almost like notion in the past. Like, oh, well, just because it's him, they're just fucking with him. Well, no. You know, the guy still had illegal firearms. You know, there's still much more to this shit. He can get more time for them guns than all this other goofy shit is what's funny about all of this. You know what I mean? But the fact that he had all that stuff, bro, that's why. And then he started trying to use it as leverage. And they're like, no, you pretty much got us confused. So he can have it now, but it doesn't matter. It's not in his hands anymore. So it doesn't matter what he do with it now. He no longer has that stuff. And then again, he'd be incriminating his damn self because he's there. So it really doesn't matter. But, you know, just to hear it be said like, oh, it's, you know, it's they're fucking with him because it's him. No, they're fucking with him because it's just time's up, bro. You've done enough BS. Your time's up.
But they don't even seem like they're worried about him talking, because if they were worried about him talking, they would have gone and got his ass already. So like, what are they doing to keep him quiet? Like, because I'm with Chad and I'm with Big Man, I'm with you guys. Like, if I'm going down, all y'all motherfuckers are going down with me. So like, what? And I guess like you said, like that guy, like I think Ty said, like they're killing his family. Like, what can they possibly have on him now when he's facing all this time? He's facing basically ruin. All of his reputation's gonna be ruined. Everything's gonna be ruined. So what does he have to lose anymore? And he's still keeping quiet. So they must have some crazy shit on him, or he's
His
worried about people dying.
his children.
So I was saying they're gonna kill his family, right? Because that'll keep me quiet,
I mean, that's it. That's all I could think about. Yeah, his family, because they already ruined his reputation.
right?
Already messed with his money, so it could only be people that are close to him.
He transferred a lot of his property. I think he has stuff in Florida. Florida has some interesting real estate things about how to do things for those who are realtors. I'm not one, but yeah. So um, whoever thinks he doesn't have any money is just doesn't understand how it works.
Oh, y'all said he broke?
Oh, he's definitely not broke at all.
No, I said y'all. Someone said that he was broke.
Nobody said that.
Oh, okay.
Chad, did you used to be in New York or L.A. in the mix, or Miami?
New York.
We have cross paths. Huh.
I bet we did. Mhm.
Why you be hating? That's why you be hating on New York.
New York is. I love New
That's all
York.
you're gonna get from chat. No follow ups, please.
That's
I
a fact. Thank you,
I
Mike.
I love New York,
No problem.
especially Manhattan and certain parts of
I
Brooklyn.
love Manhattan.
You know you do.
Yeah, Manhattan and certain parts of Brooklyn.
Ain't dating a man
Absolutely.
from New York though.
Yeah.
I ain't doing that.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Hey, Ty, I have a question. What about the plane? What do you think about that plane with Donald Trump?
I posted in the chat about the emoluments thing. I think it's 100% illegal and radically inappropriate.
Who's gonna do something about it?
I don't
Because
know.
MAGA right now, people are saying that he's saving us money. Why are we complaining? He's not saving us money, folks. You know that, right? Because that doesn't save us any money at all. It actually costs us money. Okay, to put the other Air Force One aside, so and get this ready for him to fly, and then have to transfer it over to his library. It's actually costing America money, a lot of money.
So
So
the
people, go ahead.
so the White House and all the trappings of the presidency is an office. He doesn't own it. He is just a resident, and and this this airplane, I don't think it's going to go anywhere. and it would never be Air
What do
Force
you
One.
mean you don't think it's going to go anywhere? He's setting it up right
It's
now.
in
He's the
flight.
president.
Mm.
Yeah, it's already in San Antonio. It's
We'll see.
already they already have it in San Antonio. They're lying. He's saying that they're still working out the details, but the people from the White House already said that it's been done. So they're miscommunicating. All right, and so, um, you know, no, I. So you're saying you don't think this is gonna happen? I think Ty, you don't lost your mind. You don't think this is gonna happen? This is already happening. It wouldn't have gotten out here if it wasn't gonna happen. It wouldn't have got here.
We'll see.
We'll see what.
We'll see what happens.
Oh, yeah, yeah. What do you think is gonna happen, Ty? I just want you on record.
Like I posted earlier in the chat, um, um, Article 1, Section 8, um, Paragraph 9, the Emoluments Clause will happen.
Yeah, okay, okay. We have the monument calls. Okay, we also have uh, due process. We have all that other stuff that, and it doesn't seem to affect them. So what are you saying? That the monuments calls is there before he even had a discussion about a plane. So I'm trying to because you're confusing me here because before he even had the discussion about the plane, that's been there. So we wouldn't be having a discussion about the plane if he cared about that. He wouldn't have went to Pam Bondi and told Pam Bondi to make it right.
So, Jonathan, you know I'm not so well versed on these things. Is it that he's taking the Air Force One or whatever it's called out of commission because he's going to use the other plane because it's fancier? Is that the deal?
Yeah, and then he's gonna keep the plane when it's done.
God,
Dang, he a pimp.
But how could he be saving us money by him getting a gift? I don't understand that.
That's
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 what
that,
Maga said.
that's what pimps do to hoes. They try to convince the hoe,
That's right.
you go out and do that, but this is our money. But you go do that, and this is us. And then when it's over, this is mine. Now
That's a
you can
fact.
you
he's like,
that that
I'm gonna make you
that's
all maintain both planes, and it's saving you
So
money.
sort of like Debo said,
that's
it's
whole
both ours,
business.
but get at my house.
That's whole business. That's whole business.
That's both our bikes.
And he tried to convince people, and the people that believe that are and were saying, yeah, he's right. They are hoes. How they thinking? That's how hoes think. Pimps tell them this is what we gonna do. Hoes be like, well, okay. That's America who believe that story.
We're
Is
That's
this
being
whole,
is,
pimped.
that's whole business.
is
I'm
this
not a part
logic
of.
that I
I'm not a
guess
part
it
of any whole business.
is his logic? I guess that it costs like the amount it costs the taxpayers to use Air Force One. Like he's not going to use Air Force One, I guess, so it's not going to cost taxpayers as much. I don't know.
No,
Is
no,
that?
no, no. It's going to cost more to operate this plane than it costs to operate Air Force One.
Oh yeah, that makes no sense. Yeah.
Yep.
Saying that's just reverse logic, right? Like, I could get a gift for Christmas, but I'm not saving my household money because you chose to buy me a gift. That's this is a foreign actor that's giving him something. So how is he the one that's the actor that's saving money if the foreign entity is giving him the gift? That just don't make sense to me. It just don't make sense.
I bet he can write it off too.
Well, the thing about like a lot of get like I don't even think I think I need to look at the law, but it says I think you can't get anything over $25 like a gift in value. Not him, everybody else in government, right? Like you have to do this whole lengthy process to receive a gift that's over $25. And I mean, I'm talking about food, even food, right? The thing that I don't quite understand is that the reason why, especially when there are foreign governments involved, is it's kind of like a security clearance in the military. You don't want other countries to be able to bribe you with a plane, okay, or paying your debt or upgrading your flight, like. Eric Adams, who went to jail for less than that. Like it is a way for a president to, I guess, remain loyal, right, and not be tempted with treason or treasonous behavior. So I don't know. To me, it makes us more at risk. I don't understand why that isn't a concern.
You're right. I just put the clause, the Constitution, the law, in the chat for those who are interested. I think it's section Article 1, Section 9, Clause 8.
Oh, and Jonathan or someone, does so Congress has already approved the budget and it included Air Force One as it is. How if he needs more money to run this plane, how does he get more money? Does he have to go to Congress and ask for more?
Steal it.
No, this is a gift. He's taking money from the budget from the Air Force. That's why I said they're gifting it to the Air Force, and the Air Force is gonna pay. So he's getting money out of the Air Force budget. This guy said he doesn't care, bro. He doesn't care.
So he's taking from the defense budget of the Air Force to pay for a gift that a foreign country gave him.
Correct. You see how crazy that is, chat?
Damn.
And Ty, you think that is not going to happen?
Gangster.
This guy is not following the Constitution. Nobody's going to hold him while he's still in power. So he's doing it already.
We'll see.
You don't think he'll use the plane, Ty?
I I don't know if Congress and the courts will enforce the Constitution that he swore an oath to. I don't know.
Well, I think his first try in the office, he was. I don't think he was flying Air Force One then. I think he was using his own shit then. So
No, no.
The Congress,
When he became the president, he was no longer using that because the president is an office. It's not a person. It's an office, and with the office comes Air Force One and several other things: the military bunkers, the Secret Service, how it presents itself. So it no, you can't use your own airplane because the
well,
president is an office.
I think he was. But what I'm saying is, I think his first term, I think he was against even using that.
I heard you want to like repay.
Ty, right now the Congress is not even enforcing any shit. They're not doing any goddamn thing, man. So how are they going to enforce, the airplane? They're not even enforcing anything right now. So what are you talking about? He's got the
We're talking about the House of Representatives, specifically the Republicans in the House of Representatives have a very thin margin. This in next what in 2026, this is all changing.
Sad to say, but I'm used to the piggish nature of these type of people, and I've worked with Donald Trump many times. But I could see him. Oh, I know what I was going to say. Wasn't there a discrepancy about how many nights he spent in the White House as opposed to his fancier homes?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Sheree. Yeah,
Hmm.
that's what I'm saying. His first term, he was doing that shit.
I don't know about the plane. Does anybody know?
I know he plays way more golf than President Barack Obama did, yet he was going on and on and on about President Obama playing golf. And this guy is always down in Mar-a-Lago, or which doesn't have the same level of security as the White
Did,
House
any,
has.
did anyone see an article where it said Melania Trump has only spent 10 nights in Washington?
Maybe that's what I heard, Sora.
I think is she hanging out in New York or in yeah, because her son goes to school in New York, I think.
Yeah, she doesn't even live in the White House.
I heard that. I heard that.
And in a way, I get it. I don't endorse it. at all, but I get it. If you're used to billion-dollar accommodations and you have to, downgrade to $1 million accommodations for, people like that, that's the way they think. It's not
Yeah,
comfortable.
who the fuck wants to live in D.C.?
Why is staying in the White House a thing though? Why is that a big thing that he has to stay in the White House?
I would think security, but I don't know for sure.
Yeah, the White House has a
It's
has a
not.
bunker
It's just a
underground.
departure. It's a departure from, past presidencies and first ladies, and it's just a totally different thing.
This is the same person who didn't put his hand on the Bible when he was taking his oath to uphold and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
It's just an agreement, a marital agreement. You know, if she doesn't want to deal with it, she doesn't want to be involved in it. It's an agreement between the two of them.
He's learning from his past mistakes. That's why he's not staying at the White House.
Huh?
He doesn't trust the White House, but he buys a plane from Qatar. I
You,
mean, it's crazy.
you guys impeached him because he spoke on the phone in the White House. You heard what he talked about, and you used that to impeach him. Everything he does in the White House is under scrutiny. But in Mar-a-Lago, he controls it.
He should be under scrutiny. He's the pres. This person is a servant of the people, the citizens of the United States. He's supposed to
We,
be under scrutiny.
yeah, we know that, but he doesn't want to be
Well,
because
then he shouldn't be the president.
he's
Well,
transactional.
exactly, because that's why they use Signal, because they don't trust any government service like software that's been built to protect us.
But it's good. And that's what America voted for. You see, one thing is that the way I look at things, I don't just look at things for the interim. I look at things short time and long term. Okay. Trump is going to come, Trump is going to go, and all his excesses is going to wake America up to let them realize Trump is going to be like a kind of a measure of what to do and not what to do moving forward. Let him do everything that he's going to do. Somebody like Trump, you don't fire him. You just give him enough rope because the more you fire him, the more he's going to want to push more. Give him everything that he wants. It's just like a fat kid that is eating sugar. You tell him don't eat sugar. He said no. He's fighting over it. He's catching tantrum. Then give him all the sugar that he wants. And then when he start getting cavities and stuff, then he will learn his lesson because he's going to develop it. To me, I will not even bother with Trump. He want plane, give him two. If he's dumb enough to leave the most secure plane in the world that could withstand nuclear blast and all that stuff, and he wants to go take the one that has a good bathroom and all whatnot, let him have it. I mean, come on, it doesn't. To me, I don't even care. Let him have it. How long
You
is
don't
he gonna be there?
you don't care
He's gonna
because
make his mistake.
Well,
Watch,
actually,
watch.
you don't
it could
care
put
because
the
it's not
United
going to work.
States in risk, though. That's the problem. That's where we have to care. It could put the United States at risk. That's the problem.
Yeah, he see the point is, if you could stop him, stop him. But if you can't stop him, what are you gonna do? Right? You could see all the mistakes all over that he's making. But majority of the mistake that they are making in this administration, half has not even come up to light. But they will surely come. America has a very big memory, man. It's just that
Very big memory. Thank you for saying that. I appreciate you saying that. I appreciate your words.
America has a very big memory. Let me tell you something. In America, you really get away with a lot. You think he's getting away? He's actually digging his own hole, but he doesn't realize it. He's just getting carried away. And the worst part about it is, He's making just the mistake that Corregula made, like the former Roman emperor. People around him were very scared to tell him the truth. They see everything that is going on. These Republicans, they see everything that is going on. Nobody is willing to tell him the truth, and he's digging his own hole. One day will be one day. Trust me. Nobody gets away with that. You know, Trump is one day there's going to be the last straw that will break the camel's back. Watch me. I'm done.
So he's trying to take back a lot of black progress that's taken place since the 60s. So letting somebody just go do what they want to do, which is directly taking black Americans backwards, is something that I cannot sit by idly and stand for.
Nobody's telling you not to speak out. It's a free country. You could speak out, but at the end of the day, what are we going to do? There is nothing that he has done now that cannot be redone. All his executive orders, even 1 million of them, can all be erased in just one afternoon when there is a change of office. So he's doing all these things that he's doing not just to please himself, to make himself feel good, make himself feel better. But one day it's surely going to end. That's the intoxication of power. When you are there, you don't even think about your last day in office. But when that day comes, nobody leaves White House in a happy mood. Everybody that lives there, they all live sad. When they realize all the things that they have done and realize that this thing has come to an end and they are going back to the private life, um, they usually live in a sad mood. Let him have his fun, bro. If you could stop him, stop him. But if you can't, let him have his fun.
We're not letting a person that works on behalf of us have their fun at our expense, man. That doesn't
What you
happen.
gonna do
But
about it then?
That
What is it? What are you gonna do?
the same thing my parents did.
What is that?
Just go look at some history from the 60s and the 70s, man.
I just want to know
Ty, what are you,
specifically.
Ty, what are you gonna say about you're saying black is rolling back everything that is right for the black? What are you gonna talk about the black that voted for him, the men during the election? We're all talking about that here. So what are you gonna say about that? Where are those men right now? Where are those black people right now that actually voted for him heavily? The
Many black
minority.
people. Hold on. That's a lie. Stop the lies. That's a lie. Black people did not heavily vote for Donald Trump in the United States. Don't tell that lie. It's not true. Simply just not true.
Somebody voted for him.
But that person said many black people. It's just not true.
What is the ratio? What is the number? What is the percentage of the
What
black
is
that
the
voted for
ratio
him?
of black
A lot
people?
of women are racist is what a lot of women are racist in America, and a lot of younger men, both of all colors, voted for Trump. And actually, there's an African American component to that as well.
85+% of black people did not vote for Donald Trump. I'm talking about men. So I don't know where you guys, this is the Me Too. What about y'all? No, no. This is solely laid at the feet of those who voted for him. And it wasn't black
How
people.
do we even have the
I totally agree with what he said.
women? You
I think maybe some black new immigrants did.
Yeah, probably African who don't know or don't have a
I think the
history.
data supported that out. Somalis,
Yeah,
etc.
they don't have a history of this country, and they do not consider themselves black, and neither do we consider themselves black. Those are just immigrants because they have no clear historical understanding or reference of what took place, but yet they benefit from it. So when I hear them speak, it's just noise. They have no idea. And if they were so free, they should go back to whatever country they came from and spout that knowledge, that stuff there, and see how far that gets them.
Okay, I have a
know,
question. So what do you guys think about the West African people that just came into town here that they actually brought from West Africa?
No, South Africa, not
So,
West.
I mean, sorry, South Africa. What do you think about that?
I think the number is too small. You should have taken all of them.
I think that's performative. And when Donald Trump the first time was running for office, he talked about why not have more white immigrants come to the country. Um, so that's been a dream of his. And then you have the apartheid loving, anti black people like Elon Musk, um, David Sachs, and Peter Thiel, who are just avowed anti black people and pro apartheid South Africa or German in their thought process. So that's what's happening here. It starts with what 47 people. They're gonna try to bring more. They're trying to create rationale. They're being discriminated against. What? They've been invaders in South Africa since the 1600s, the 17th century.
So
They're still. I
do
don't
you
know.
know that the Episcopalian Church actually said that they're not going to help them because they don't agree with
Yeah,
Trump's the way they're actually deporting other people? So they actually stood up and said we're not going to actually help these people from from South Africa. I mean West Africa. It's really bizarre. Actually, it's pretty a big stance if you ask me.
but there's so many other people that will help them.
Trump might end up being the best thing that happened to America. You guys don't know. To
Where,
be quite honest.
where are you from? What country are you from?
I want to know. I want to know that too.
He's American.
Because
France.
the stuff that he's spouting is just in no shape, way, or form attached to reality.
Because you kind of maybe if you look at things myopically, it would seem like that. Okay, but I'm somebody that have lent myself to historical context. I don't look at things just because instantaneously. I analyze things based in historical, present, and future context. It could be the best thing that will happen to America because what he's doing right now is exposing the excesses of America, is exposing the faults of America. When he leaves office, the kind of galvanization that American public is going to have, the kind of repudiation that she's going to see, can project this country so forward that those people that you think that are not disenfranchised will be so empowered to gain traction that they wouldn't have gotten anyway. You got to look.
So, get rid of the 1968 civil rights and affirmative action play that Lyndon Johnson put in effect that propelled so many Black Americans forward, that put them in totally different socioeconomic classes. The eradication of affirmative action called DEI that Obama changed the name in 2016 or 17. No, I'm sorry, 2008, 09, whenever he was in office. All these things that are pushing Black people in a more harsh socioeconomic space. That's not progress. Maybe where you're from, that might be progress, but that's not progress.
I don't think you're listening to what I'm saying. All those things that he did by executive order can be reversed in one afternoon. That's nothing. He's just slowing it down. He only have 4 years to slow it down at the most, right? And then it's not only the black people that got affected. White people get affected by that too. A lot of people get affected by it. What he's creating right now is a political movement. He's just creating political issues that people will pick up and run and implement. You understand? He's just what he's doing is just temporarily, bro. And the side effect of it is that this thing can fundamentally create a big shift that will benefit those people that have been disenfranchised. America is going to wake up from this.
So
This
from
is this is
16,
Trump's time.
so from 1619 to 7076.
Because America will be okay because it'll all work itself out. And you're exactly right, because a lot of these things are just going to get shot down eventually as soon as they come up against the Constitution, as they're doing, as we've seen. And that's why he's backpedaling out of this and changing the story, saying, oh, they made the greatest, the greatest agreement ever with China. I mean, like, please, like, he doesn't really have a strategy. He knew that, like, he doesn't, so he's just bullying them up, and it's just, But the thing is, he could have done this without having to have made things so chaotic for individuals. There's no reason for to act like such an asshole like he has and demean like federal employees. There's no reason there. This could have been done in another light, and that's a fact. Smart people would not approach things this way. They could have gotten it done better by having a strategy in place, playing hardball, and then initiating and executing their plan. This is bullshit what we're dealing with, and it's just wrong for companies. And but he's playing the market and making money and getting planes from Qatar. I mean, how could he can't cry? He's pretty happy, right?
Everybody
Really?
that
Is
has
that how you see it? Hmm. I don't see it
ev-
that way, but it's okay.
no matter how this talks from China ends up, America has lost going in anyway.
Oh my God, Shuri.
No matter how it ends up, because at the end of the day, you're not getting back all those businesses that you've lost already. You're not the farmers are not selling their beef again to China. China is getting it from Australia. Boeing is not getting all those billion-dollar businesses. That's gone. That company, if they don't take their time, they might end up needing government bailout with all those cancellations. One would think that maybe he might take one of those planes that China didn't that China did abandoned and do something with it. There's America has already lost. America has lost in terms of prestige when it comes to China. Okay, because now you use coercive diplomacy and it didn't work. Now you're on the table with them. You're asking to be heard. They are postponing the talks. So I mean, you've lost in terms of prestige. You lost in terms of economic revenue, contracts, and at the same time, you have not even reached a deal, and you've lost in the market, in the stock market because of this.
Where did you lose in the stock market?
So
Where? Where,
it's,
Sir Jew? No, you just made a comment. Where did you lose in the stock market?
Cindy,
No,
Cindy,
stop.
let me
Stop
tell
blowing
you,
around bullshit now.
Cindy,
Where did
Cindy,
you lose in the
please,
stock market? Tell
Cindy,
me.
Cindy, please, because I just came back from a friend house
Another
that
friend.
Cindy. Let me not talk. A lot of people have lost money, Cindy.
Really?
Yeah,
Did you
a lot of
sell your
people.
stock?
A lot of people lost money, but
Did you
it's
sell
okay.
your stock? Did
I
you
don't want to
sell?
talk.
Did
I
you
don't want
sell
to
your
talk.
stock? You don't lose until you sell.
Cindy,
Market's right back where it was, buddy.
okay.
So what are you talking about?
Ah,
Where? Who lost? Who lost
Cindy,
money?
Cindy, I
People
want
that
to.
people what? People that panicked because of people putting fear mongo out there, like you guys do, night after night. Who lost?
Cindy, are you defending Trump? I'm not here to.
I'm defending the country. How's that?
Okay, okay.
What? You guys have a problem? What happened today? That's even bothering you?
What happened today, Cindy? What are you referring to?
You got a 90-day agreement right now with China. What's the problem?
You
A
don't have a
90-day
90 days
agreement?
Yes, he
agreement,
has a
What's
Cindy.
so
90-day
excitement
agreement with
about
China.
that?
No,
Yeah, we
no.
lowered ours to 30%. They lowered
A
theirs to
90-day
10%.
agreement? You
Uh,
think that's a big deal? I mean, seriously?
let's see where
A
it goes from
90-day
there, honey.
agreement, you
Like
have to
you gotta
book, as a
sit
company has to
back and
book like
watch.
18
Sit
months
back and
forward
open your
thinking
eyes and
a
watch.
90-day, you think that's oh so great? I mean, this is all smoke and mirrors. It is
Now it's
clearly,
called making a
they don't have an
deal.
end game
Okay?
plan.
And
They
if you're
don't
in
even know what they're
business and you
asking
make
for.
deals, deals happen.
Oh, it depends on
It
what you
might
call it.
not be the way you like to make a deal, but at least there's talk and it's on the table in 90 days. And actually, the deal will get better in 90 days. How's that?
Well, that's the crazy thing. You guys are upset that there's nothing in place. Then now there's a 90-day deal where we
And
lowered
they
ours
still
from
shit on it, Mike.
145
And
to
they
30.
still shit on it.
Yeah, and then China had their tariffs at 125%. They lowered their tariffs to 10%. We lowered ours to 30% for 90 days. And it's like, so if they didn't do the 90-day deal, you guys be like, there's no deal, there's no deal. Now there's a 90-day deal, and you're like, well, so what? It's like, well, well,
So,
I mean,
so,
Thanks,
com-
Mike. They'll always find something to be mad about.
so companies are coming
And
back.
what? You have a problem with lowering the rates on your medical? Really? on your
No,
pharmacy, on your pharmaceutical products that you have to buy?
no, that's a good move.
Okay. Oh, that's a good move. But
Hmm.
90 days with China right now, that's opening the doors. The doors are open and they're going to
Mm.
walk through the doors and they're going to make it happen. So
There's,
what's the problem now?
there is still,
Kid, you guys have to shit on everything. You can't find the positive in nothing. In nothing. How sad is that?
If he cures cancer, you guys can be like, we want our cancer back.
Mike, if he could cure cancer and make everybody billionaires, he'd still be a shithead. Come on, let's call it the way it is. Okay?
Cindy, the point is,
There is no
that is,
point.
hold on,
He gets a that a boy for today.
you know,
Tomorrow he might get shithead again. Today he gets a that a boy. Tomorrow could be a different story.
Cindy, the,
I'm listening.
okay, if you're gonna let me talk,
Now we got
okay.
riots out there trying to protect the MS-13 gangs. What?
Who is protecting MS-13 gangs?
Put your news on, man. Watch your news.
Who is protecting MS-13 gangs?
Are you kidding me right now?
No, I'm asking you. I don't know what you're referring to.
Google Worcester, Massachusetts right now.
Oh, that's in your place. Okay.
Yeah, it's happening everywhere. What do you mean?
I
It's
don't know
happening
who
in
is
other
trying.
states too.
I haven't had anybody trying to protect MS-13 gangs
Well, maybe you might want
specifically.
to Google it since you guys are all Google machines, or you don't watch TV. I don't know. I have no idea.
No, what I hear that people are doing is people are insisting on the right to due process. Whether you are a,
Not MS-13 games. Listen,
well,
this is what he ran on, and he's doing everything he ran on.
yeah, the
Oh,
point.
I see, though. It was okay when Hillary Clinton was running on what? I'm going to tariff
No,
China. I'm going to bring China down to its knees, blah, blah, blah. All the other,
Hell yeah,
all the
y'all
shit,
also forgot
but
when
no one
Obama was
ever
very
did
pro
anything.
tariff.
They all
No,
Exactly.
ran off
he's
the
just
Cindy,
same
simply
shit,
backpedaling,
and the
using
only
Besson to
difference is
backpedal.
he's
Besson's
doing
telling
it.
them, dude, you fucked up. Don't let the bonds actually kill United States marketplace. So Besson
The
is
bond
saying you got to
market, do you
cut
want to
back, you
talk
got to
about the
drill
bond
back.
market?
This is no,
If
it
you,
is very much
if you
more
want
of
to
a
talk about the
blink.
bond
They
market, let's
know
get
that
in.
what they did is wrong. This is not a deal that's incorporated. 90 days to wait for another deal. This is all smoke and mirrors. Please get it real.
You're so wrong about that bond thing. You don't even know.
Cindy, you know very
I
well
know,
that if
Sir
you
Jude, I'm a stupid woman.
no, if you know very well that if you have a court date and you go and it's get adjourned, that doesn't mean that the case is
Get the
out, right?
fucking shit bums out of our country. Get rid of the MS-13. Get rid of these gangs. They don't belong here. Get them out. You want them here?
I
Then
agree
you live
with you.
around them. How's that?
No,
I don't want them
no, no,
around
no,
me.
no, no. I agree with you on that. Get them out of here, but get them out through the legal means because in the process
What?
of getting,
No, no.
yes,
You're
no
here
done.
illegal. You're here
Okay,
illegal,
if
and
they are
you're
here
gang
illegal,
members that actually hurt people, and
you're
you
not
want them to have
listening.
legal. Oh my God,
You're not
shoot me.
listening. If they are here illegal, okay, you take them to court, and then you establish that the
No, we
illegal,
don't
you
take
get
them
them
to
out.
court.
You don't
Get
take them to
out.
court.
Get out. How's that?
They've all gotten due process anyway, Sir Jude. You don't even like honestly like every single one of them. They have deportation orders, and they're
Now,
criminals.
now you're
They're here
talking.
illegally, so they're
If they've
criminals.
been adjudicated, if they've been adjudicated to be removed, then get them out. Don't even get them out tomorrow. Get them out tonight. I'm with you on that
There you
one.
go. There we
But
go.
what I'm saying is, don't go grabbing off people and shipping them out because you know what? I'm black.
Really?
Okay?
Well,
Yeah, I'm black. If I'm
listen. Why don't
listen,
you
Cindy,
look at how many that
Cindy.
Obama
Let me
took
tell
out?
you
Hold
why.
on. Look at why don't you Google how many Obama took out? Why don't you look at how many Clinton
Oh,
took out? And then look
yes.
out Trump's only at 100,000. Oh, Biden was not Biden. Obama was at 5 million.
Yep. You're
Five
making my
million.
point. You're
Five
making my
million.
point.
Did those
But
5 million people get to go to court? I don't think so.
yeah, they did.
No,
All
they
of
did
them. You didn't.
not. No, they
You
did
didn't hear.
not. Yeah,
Yeah,
5 million went to court. Come on, cut the shit. You
Cindy.
don't possibly believe that, do you?
Cindy. All of those people were removed, and we didn't even hear a rancor. We didn't even. We didn't. It didn't even make the news because it was done the way it was supposed to be done.
No, it
Okay,
didn't make the news because no one cared to put it out there. Okay? That's the
Cindy.
truth. Come on.
If
Listen,
nobody cares
you're
to
all
put it out
Google
there, you wouldn't
machines.
have
Why
had the
don't you
number.
Google, did Obama remove 5 million migrants out of the United States of America? And why
Cindy.
don't you Google No, keep it.
Yes.
And then
The
Google
answer is yes. We all.
Clinton, and then Google Biden, and then
I
Google
know they
Trump.
did.
Trump's
I
only
don't
moved
have to
Over
go.
100,000
over how
people
many?
to
Over
date.
how many years? That's over 2 terms. Over two
Whatever, that's
terms.
Yeah, he
5
got time to get his numbers
million
up.
people, Chris. 5 million. You think
Cindy,
5 million people got to go to court? I don't think so.
Cindy, I
No, they
want Trump
didn't.
to remove 10 million if they are bad, if they have to be removed. 10 million, I give it to him. But you got to do it properly
No
because
one's done
we
it properly.
everybody have done it properly, almost done it properly, Cindy.
Okay, show me all the court hearings for 5 million people, because I'd love to see
Cindy,
them.
oh,
No, show it to me.
Cindy, you're
Show
not
me
making
where 5
yeah,
million people
you're not
got
making.
to go to
So
court.
what was Obama doing? People come from the border, he take them and then he does what? He put them on the plane and ship them out.
Don't know how he got him out. I wasn't paying attention.
Oh, well, you should
But
have
he
known
did.
that. Yeah.
But he did. But no, but nobody went to court.
I
You
love you,
couldn't
Sergio,
Cindy.
this is
you
the part
couldn't
you're
put
missing, dude.
5
Like,
million people through court. We'd still be in court for 5 million people. Stop.
right? You want to? You said 10 million. You want to have 10 million fucking trial, 10 million adjudications? Like, what are we talking about right now?
Well, that's why, isn't it why we have a bill in the Congress, right? You know why Trump is not doing
For
it fast enough?
citizens, yes.
Hold on. The
No, you know
reason,
what? We're not
the
American
reason, the
citizens.
reason, the reason is not moving
I'm an
people
American
fast enough.
citizen. Mike's an American citizen. I don't know about the rest of
Yeah,
you guys.
that could that bill's for citizens.
What bill is for citizens? The bill provides money in order to
Well,
get all the
here, but
infrastructure
yeah,
that is
let's
needed.
spend more money putting MS-13 gangs in court. Yeah, let's spend more money. Let's keep spending more money.
Wow.
Stop. Just stop.
The one dude in Newark, they're probably going to come out with this on the next thing we're going to hear about. The one guy sends a phone video to his dad or whatever, and his dad's like, "Look, I know he's illegal, but he's not MS-13. They're trying to say he's MS-13. Now I know he's illegal, and he's also got a domestic assault charge, but he's not MS-13. It's like, dude, you're illegal and you got a domestic assault charge. Get the fuck out. Like, bye. Like, you got to go.
Cindy,
Sorry.
what do you think? What do you think about the South Africans that came?
I'm not following that, nor do I care right now. I care about
That's
what's
that.
going
Hey,
on
bullshit.
today.
Hey, y'all lying if
Today.
you talking about y'all not
Today.
following that, bro. You know good and goddamn well Trump is basically removing one set of illegal immigrants to try and help another set of illegal immigrants. Those are illegal immigrants, regardless of how long they've been legacy to grandfather into South Africa. Those white people who was an invasive species to South Africa via the United Nations do need to be cast the fuck out. And Trump trying to help them out just because Elon Musk is a South African is some bullshit. And I'm actually a Trump supporter, but that is some bullshit.
But
Well, she's not following it, so you can't hold her on that one.
to get back on the monetary thing, what a lot of people are missing out on, the stock markets, yeah, it's volatile, but you ride the ups and the downs, hold on to your shit. Trump's even telling us to get into the stock market. But what a lot of people aren't talking about, the interest rates should have already been lowered. They were lowering the interest rates right before the election to help Joe Biden. Now, with all of the metrics on how the
Oh my
economy is
God.
going, all of the metrics say the interest rates should have already come down. And that dickhead Jerome Powell is not lowering the interest rates to hurt Trump when in reality, he should already have done that. Why would he just stop lowering interest rates? All of the metrics say he needs to be doing this, and he's not doing it. And if he would have already done that like he should have, there'd be way more better outcomes right now that we'd already be seeing. But that dickhead's not doing it. That's why Trump was mad at that motherfucker. I mean, literally, he lowered them right before the election to help Joe Biden and then just stopped lowering them for no reason, for zero reason.
Well,
And Trump
his
appointed him.
rationale was, Mike, his rationale was the economy was doing good. So there was no reason to lower interest rates.
But he's a Trump appointee, right?
Doesn't matter. Powell is his own
Oh, it
entity.
doesn't. It doesn't matter.
Powell
Okay.
is his own
Well,
entity.
all the appointees from Trump's first
Oh,
administration.
he's his own entity. So I thought he was working for Joe Biden.
He's his
Dude,
own entity. Everybody knows that. Come on, guys.
Yeah, but
and
your guy over there is saying that he was doing Joe Biden's
yeah,
bid. So
I
which
could
one
go
is
on
it?
for days. Yeah, Sir Jude, that's my one criticism of Trump is the people that he appointed in his first term. Trump didn't understand what was going on. Now Trump's not doing that shit. And
No,
yeah,
I
it's
don't.
coming to bite him in the ass. Go,
I
dude.
don't. I don't. I don't believe that. I
I
believe
don't have
that
enough
Trump
fingers to
appoints
tell
the
you.
best people. Trump
I don't have
says,
enough fingers to tell you all the bad appointments he made in his first
"Oh no,
administration.
Trump never appoints anybody bad. He appoints the best people." Please don't put him down right now.
Seriously?
Don't make Trump looks bad right now. He appoints the best people, bro. I hold him for that. Anybody that he appoints, I
What people did
accept.
you appoint that was bad? But
Picking
can
up
you
on
justify your
sarcasm,
claim
landing on
of the
pretty.
bad people he
It's
appointed?
not sarcasm. I mean, this is it. Whoever that he appoints, he accepts. He's a good businessman. He knows people. He makes the appointments, and he
Yeah, I
appoints the
don't like
best
Mueller. I
people.
didn't like Christopher Wray. I don't like fucking Jerome Powell. I don't like a lot of the people that are still there from his first administration.
Why? What wrong have they been doing?
Well, Mueller and Ray are not, but you know what I'm saying.
But right now, all the people that he appoints at this time around, they are all top notch, right?
I haven't. I don't seem to have an issue with him.
Oh, okay, that's what I'm saying. America is in good hands, so let's do it.
Sir Jude's being sarcastic right now, Mike.
I'm not being sarcastic. I'm with. Listen, let me tell you something. If there is anything that I want, and I've been saying it here all night, and I've been saying it here every day, let Trump run America. Trump is going to make America better, not on the way he thinks. In the long run, Trump is going to make this country very, very great, but not the way he thinks. Because
How can you do two things at once? He's going to
I,
make America great, but just not the way he thinks.
not the
Oh,
way he
okay.
thinks. I tell you what, because Trump is the example of what these founding fathers and past presidents, when this country was created, and they are trying to establish a federalics and a republic. The thinkers of the Constitution had somebody like Trump in mind and put some of the guardrails that they put in place. That time has come. Trump is going to prove who he is. America is going to survive from it. America is going to wake up, and America is going to tighten its belt up. And that's going to make America better. That's my logic.
I'll give you that. If you're saying in terms of him giving the
You're in a matrix.
who me?
Yeah,
Lord,
I think you were trying to say
Oh, I
something.
was saying I kind of agree with you in terms of him giving some of the powers back to the states, letting the states be competitive, letting the states run themselves, how the true republic should work, right? The states kind of make their own decisions, and then when the federal the federal steps in when it needs to, but the states have their own autonomy, and that's I agree with you there. He should be doing that. That's how he should run. The states should have the power.
I wasn't talking about that, but if that's your own view, that's okay.
Well, that's what he's doing. He's giving power back to the states. Less big government. As conservatives, we don't like big government. Less big government.
That's it, Mike. That's all a Republican is. That's all it
You
means, right?
the
That's what
thing
it
is that
means. Small
it,
government, deliver our mail, and keep us safe. That's it.
Yeah,
That's the three
exactly.
views of Republicans. Simple
Right,
as
and let us
that.
keep our guns.
No one's taking my guns.
not mine neither.
Oh, okay. Then we all agree on one thing.
But really, think about interest rate. The lower they are, the more we are borrowing from Chinese.
Say that again?
Republicans.
The lower the interest rate, the more we are borrowing from Chinese. The money should come from somewhere.
Who was saying that?
Yeah, how
You
does that
can't.
work?
Clubhouse.
You're carrying $1 billion a day on debt. Do you understand what $1 billion a day is? The feds need to lower the rates. They need to do that just for that one reason alone. And again, that will not help real estate. It will not bring down your mortgages. So what's up?
Are you worried about that, Cindy? Do you have a look of this budget that they are trying to pass now? What is
What's
going
that?
to do to the national debt?
What about the national debt now? Where are we
No,
going
sir,
with
Jude,
that
hit
one?
us. Hit us.
The budget
The
that they are
what?
trying to, the budget that they are trying to
Yeah,
pass
tell us about it. Tell us about it. Tell us about it.
that is going to balloon the national debt to
Yeah, tell us about it. Tell us about it.
at about 9 trillion over 20 years.
Tell
All
us.
right, folks.
I don't know what he's
I
saying.
just told you
So we're
about it.
going to do a
I
hard
told you that
reset.
the budget that they
I want
have
to make
now
sure
that
that
Trump is presenting, trying to pass,
Tyson is here,
that
Ray,
is going
whatever,
to add
Real,
nine
you guys here?
trillion dollars.
Oh, it's going
We're
to
gonna do a
add.
hard reset, guys.
Yes,
If you're listening to
Oh,
us right
okay.
now
How'd you
over
do that
at
20
math?
years
home,
period.
How
there's
did
a
you do that
podcast
math
coming out
equation,
later on
Sergio?
today. Another episode coming out later on today,
I
Tuesday
didn't
the
do the math.
13th.
Where'd you come up with that
But
math
we're doing a hard
equation?
reset. If you guys
It's
are in
been all over the
CH,
news.
what does
I
that
thought
mean? You're gonna find yourself in the
I
hallway
thought.
for
Now
about
you watch the news.
5
Okay,
seconds.
I can't keep up.
We're gonna open the room right back up in 5 seconds, less
Yeah,
than 5
you
seconds.
could Google
We're
it
gonna end
too.
this room right now.
I don't have to.